Picture this. You're not in your comfortable home, bathed in the soft glow of a screen. You are somewhere else entirely. The air is thick, stinging your eyes with a cocktail of wood smoke, sweat, unwashed bodies, and spilled ale. You're in a Viking longhouse in the year 900 AD. It's your wedding night, but forget everything you think you know about romance, privacy, and love. The single long room is packed with the roaring, laughing, and jeering figures of your entire clan, your new family, and what feels like the entire village. There is no escape from their gaze. The fire in the central hearth spits and crackles, casting long dancing shadows that make the bearded faces around you look like monstrous masks. They are celebrating, yes, but they are also watching, waiting, because the main event, the true seal on the contract that has just been forged, is about to happen. And you are one of the two-star performers. Your bedroom isn't a room at all. It's a small curtained-off alcove at the end of the hall, a space barely large enough for a wooden bed piled with straw and furs. This flimsy curtain is the only thing separating your most intimate moment from a crowd of 50 drunken expectant witnesses. And they aren't going anywhere. What is about to happen in that bed is not a private act of love. It is a public confirmation of a business deal. And your survival in this society depends on it. Before we tear back that curtain and expose the chilling realities of Viking intimacy, if you find yourself fascinated by these raw and untamed truths of our past, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more journeys into the forgotten corners of history. Sharing this video with a friend who shares your passion for ancient worlds can spark incredible discussions. Imagine debating Viking customs over coffee. And please comment below and tell me what part of the world you're watching from. It's a powerful thought, isn't it? That we can all gather here from every corner of the modern globe, connected by a shared curiosity for a world so fundamentally different from our own. A world that we, with our modern sensibilities, would almost certainly not survive. What you're about to hear isn't just a list of strange customs. It's a story about how a brutal landscape and the constant threat of death shape the most personal aspects of human life. It's about how concepts we hold sacred, privacy, choice, and romantic love, were luxuries the Vikings simply could not afford. The image of the Viking you have in your head, the noble warrior or the fierce shield maiden, is a romantic fantasy. The reality was far more pragmatic and infinitely more terrifying. Let's start with the very foundation of your marriage. It had almost nothing to do with you or your feelings. You didn't meet your partner at a market, fall in love, and decide to build a life together. It's far more likely you barely knew them. Marriages were contracts negotiated between families with the cold calculus of a corporate merger. Your father or your brother, if your father was dead, made the decision. They weren't looking for a kind heart or a sparkling personality in your future spouse. They were looking for land, for wealth, for a powerful alliance that could mean the difference between prosperity and starvation, between peace and a bloody feud. The groom's family had to pay for you. This wasn't a dowry you brought with you. It was a munder, a bride price paid directly to your family. You were, in the starkest terms, an asset being transferred from one owner to another. Your value was measured in cattle, in silver, in the strength of your family's name, and the strategic advantage they offered. Historical accounts from sagas like the Laxdæla saga describe how these negotiations could drag on for months, with families haggling over every ounce of silver or head of livestock. Your consent was not a factor. Your happiness was not part of the equation. Your role was to be the living seal on this brutal, pragmatic pact. To understand the depth of these negotiations, consider the intricate web of social and economic factors at play. In Viking society, marriages weren't just unions of two individuals, they were strategic moves in a larger game of survival and power. Families would assess potential matches based on lineage, property holdings, and even feuds or alliances with other clans. For instance, if your family controlled fertile farmlands in Norway, they might seek a groom from a seafaring family in Denmark to secure trade routes or protection from raids. These discussions often took place at things, the local assemblies where disputes were settled and laws debated. Picture elders gathered under open skies, voices raised in debate, as they weighed your worth against livestock or weapons. The bride price, or munder, could be substantial, equivalent to years of farm output, and was paid in installments, a portion at betrothal, the rest at the wedding. Sometimes, if the groom was poor but promising, He might offer services like raiding voyages to earn the mund or turning marriage into a venture capital investment. Courtship, if it existed at all, was heavily supervised and far from romantic. Young Vikings might exchange glances at seasonal festivals like the Midsummer Blot, where communities gathered to sacrifice to the gods for good harvests. But any real interaction was orchestrated by elders, perhaps during visits between farms where potential matches were paraded like prized animals. Love poems or tokens might be exchanged in secret, whispered verses invoking Freya, the goddess of love, but these were rare luxuries, often frowned upon if they interfered with family plans. More often, the match was decided at the thing, where legal matters were formalized. Imagine sitting silently on a wooden bench, wrapped in a woolen cloak against the chill wind, as men debated your worth like traders at a market stall haggling over furs or amber. If the families agreed, a formal betrothal followed, sealed with a handshake and the payment of a portion of the mundra as a deposit. This betrothal was binding. Breaking it could lead to blood feuds or compensation payments, underscoring how marriage was a legal contract first and foremost. The wedding ceremony itself was a public spectacle designed to reinforce this transaction, lasting days and involving the entire community. There was no quiet exchange of vows in a chapel. It was a raucous, day-long affair of feasting and drinking, with boasts and oaths shouted over the noise of the crowd. Weddings were preferably held on Fridays to honor Frigg, the goddess of marriage, and could extend up to a week for wealthy families. Guests arrived on horseback or by boat, bearing gifts and participating in games like wrestling, archery, or horse fights to display strength and forge bonds. The key moment was the exchange of gifts. Your new husband would present your father with the agreed-upon bride price, perhaps sacks of silver hacksilver or herds of sheep driven into the yard. He might also present you with the keys to the longhouse, a symbolic gesture misinterpreted today as empowerment, but truly a transfer of responsibility. You were now tasked with managing food stores, cloth production, servants, and children, a burdensome role in a harsh world. In return, your family would gift him a sword, etched with runes invoking protection from Thor or Odin, symbolizing his duty to defend you and the family's honor. Archaeological finds from graves often include such swords, their blades inscribed with spells for victory. The ceremony might include a blot, a sacrifice to the gods, a goat or pig slaughtered, its blood sprinkled on the couple for fertility and luck, the meat roasted for the feast. Every part was a public declaration of new ownership and alliance, nothing subtle or personal, a raw display of power and property changing hands. Historical records from Icelandic sagas, like the Saga of the Volsungs, paint vivid pictures. Brides wore a kransen, a gilt circlet symbolizing virginity, removed post-wedding, while grooms donned tunics embroidered with protective runes. Ale flowed freely, toasts to ancestors and Aesir gods echoing through the hall. For elite weddings, poets composed skaldic verses praising the union, immortalizing it in oral tradition. But beneath the celebration lurked pragmatism. Marriages sealed peace treaties or ended feuds, with the bride as pawn in a high-stakes game. And now we arrive at the moment the entire village has been waiting for, the bed-warming ritual. As night deepens and ale flows faster, a select group of witnesses, usually close family members, are chosen to escort the couple to the curtained bed. At least 6 for high-status unions, ensuring validity. Imagine the psychological horror, led through leering faces, drunken jokes like arrows. They pull back the curtain, ushering you into the cramped space. Witnesses linger outside, shadows dancing. You're straining for confirmation of consummation. This isn't celebration, it's verification, the final clause in the contract. Consummation proves the deal, transferring heir-producing rights to the husband's family. No privacy, no tenderness, only expectations wait, performance judged by those whose acceptance means survival. This ritual strips modern intimacy notions, leaving a cold transaction. From Heimskringla by Snorri Sturluson, we know failure, like non-virginity or impotence, could annul the marriage, sparking feuds. The marriage sealed, but the ordeal continues. Dawn's gray light filters through the smoke hole, witnesses snoring away. Alone with your husband, but exhausted, exposed. He presses a morgengifu into your hand, a silver brooch, keys, or farmstead. Not affection, but payment confirming virginity and satisfaction. Your sole property, untouchable by him, a severance in a whim-ruled life. Psychology, after humiliation, a calculated reward for obligation fulfillment. Foundation, brutal pragmatism. Viking law codes like Gragas show it legally binding up to one-third husband's wealth, rare financial independence. Curtain pulled, face the longhouse, one cavernous space, no doors. Central fire smoldering, thralls preparing meal. Air thick with smoke, ale, breath of 50. Benches are beds, families huddled under furs, livestock stirring. Noise assault, coughing, snoring, wailing. You're all in one space, bedroom, living prison. No alone time, forget personal space to survive. Reconstructed longhouses, like S3X meadows or Danish Viking center, 15 to 75 meters long, 5 to 7 wide, housing 20 to 50. Turf, wood, stone, no windows, smoke hole. Earth floors with rushes, animals inside winter, adding smells. Life around hearth, cooking, storytelling. Your bed, lock bed, box for illusionary privacy, but claustrophobic. Others on benches. Intimacy impossible, furtive, quiet duty for heirs, feared overheard by in-laws or children. Bed, helm straw mattress, flea paradise, absorbing fluids. Furs greasy, animal scented. Not sanctuary, filth nest for procreation, birth, sickness. Romantic warrior embrace, shattered by unhygienic reality. Survival, numb senses, ignore noise, filth, dignity loss. Public and private play, smoky stage forever. Daily life, morning's chores, milking, grinding grain, fire tending. Women spun wool, wove on looms, managed stores. Men farmed, hunted, raided. Seasons, summer farming/trading, winter crafts/sagas. Feast solstices, meet strengthening bonds. Married, installed in fishbowl, learn body laws. Primary, produce male heirs. Barrenness catastrophe, woman's fault, contract breach. No conception after 2 to 3 years. Divorce. Public, witnesses at bed/door, barrenness declared, cast out in shame, family dishonored, burden, remarriage nil. Pressure immense, anxiety shadowing days. Monthly failure ticks ruin clock. Not motherhood joy, survival race. Sagas like Njaal's mention fertility charms, Volva's herbs, Freya rituals. Conceive. No rest. Manage household. Oversee thralls, stores, weaving, meals, animals. Relentless, demanding. No maternity leave, sickness, weakness. Duties till labor. Pregnancy political, art shows women with weapons, lineage power. Mortality 20 to 30%, hemorrhage, infection. Labor, flea bed or birthing hut. Surrounded by women, mother-in-law, sisters. Rivals assisting with superstition, no doctors. Chant, offerings, herb/dung poultices. Battle with folk medicine. Mortality high, ordeal without partner, but judgmental kin. Midwives used bone needles, henbane pain, kneeling/squatting, birthing stool, runes carved. Baby born, ordeal not over. Placed on floor for father's judgment. Inspects for flaws, deformity, weakness. No room for unproductive. Worthy. Picks up, claims. Naming planned. Flawed. Walks away. Death sentence. Tbur exposure, left in wilderness to die. Mother helpless, instincts irrelevant. Watch baby carried away, father's pragmatism. Devastation incomprehensible, build emotional wall to avoid madness. Life conditional, love luxury overruled by survival. Evidence. Female/deformed more common, gender imbalance fueling raids. Sagas like Gylfaginning root in pagan beliefs. Child deemed worthy, father lifts relief. Success, position secure but fragile. Vikings divorce complex, progressive surface, double-edged. Women could initiate, modern sounding but perilous. Grounds, strike, honor stain, weakness. Effeminate clothing, low neckline shaming manhood. Call witnesses, leave with more genjifu, bride price. Powerful theory, but practice? Accuse in his family's hall, warriors protective of honor. Not divorce, family attack. Reprisal risk enormous, feud, own family hesitant. Loaded gun, last resort gamble, not escape. Codes like frost-dathing allowed impotence, desertion, abuse, property retained, but enforcement family dependent, vendettas common. Husband's ground simpler, barrenness, laziness vague, argumentative, infidelity, social death for her. Process clean, declare, pack her off, keep house/land/children. She leaves with gift, shame. Power dynamic chilling, vigilant, meal good, hull clean, opinion challenging, smile enough, perpetual performance. Bed minefield, willing for heirs, not wanton, compliant, not passive. Tightrope, husband's partners expected. Chieftains had concubines, thralls, captives in same longhouse. Watch and bed them, their children rivaling yours. No betrayal, emotional bond never point. His right, accept, swallow jealousy, maintain chief wife role. Polygyny elite common, sagas like Orkney Inga, Jarl's multiple wives for alliances/heirs. Bedroom political arena, rules stacked, misstep ruin. Peel layer, hygiene. Longhouse crowded, smoky unwashed. Forget showers, soap. Water hauled from river, icy winter work. Use sparingly. Full wash rare, weekly laugerdagger Saturday. Heat stones and tub, household turns in murky water. Spa day, disgusting soup by end. Vikings cleaner than Europeans, bathed weekly versus less, but appalling by modern. Fines, combs, tweezers, ear spoons, daily grooming, face wash, hair comb. Clothes in frequent change. Bed ecosystem, fleas, lice fact. Intimacy, stinking bodies, greasy furs. No perfumes, mints. Dental, low sugar diet, fewer cavities, but grit wore teeth to stumps. Abscesses, bad breath. Kissing unpleasant. Menstruation, linen/wool scraps, moss, wash/reuse. Logistics in crowd, discreet river wash, dry without display. Humiliation. Superstitions, impurity, food spoiling, isolation. Toilet, outhouse pit, blizzard trek. No paper, moss, leaves wool. Stench, disease breeding. Dysentery swept fast. Pregnancy, nausea worsened by stench. Exhaustion hauling water, childbirth and fleas, unwashed hands. Infections, parasites, pain baseline. Strong Viking survivors, many women/children broken by filth. Bedroom biological battleground, enemies, germs, and squalor. Navigated marriage, birth, politics. Survived, but no safety. Longhouse microcosm, power currency, violence expression. Bedroom epicenter. Thralls, human tools, bodies not own. Young thrall woman serves, story's child, in perpetual terror. Any night, husband/brothers/guests take her. No rape word, can't violate no rights. Dragged used, screams ignored, struggle forced. Wife witnesses, hears, does nothing. Interfere, challenge property. Avert eyes, block sounds, see object. Soul hardening for survival. Brutality menace atmosphere. Wife protected thinly. Consent assumed permanent. Denial defiance, argumentative grounds. Divorce threat coercion. No beat without honor risk, but force threat enough. Bedroom performance, feign willingness peace. System policed men too. Urgy insult. Unmanliness, effeminacy, cowardice receptivity. Accuse, passive in sex with man. Not homophobia, honor/power. Penetrator affirms masculinity, receptive sacrifices, becomes woman. Consequences, neithinger, outcast, no rights. Killable freely, property seized. Pressure, perform masculinity, aggressive, dominant. Weakness, twisted, urgy. Explains low shirt divorce law. Man's bedroom stage, dominance from fear. Hypocrisy, rape, slave, impunity, consensual, receptive death. Values, power assertion. Sagas like Lokasenna, Loki accuses gods urgy. Premarital sex accepted, but norms marriage/heirs. Years bleed, seasons, harvests, births, deaths. Face and shield, survival map, ash hair, gnarled hands. Outlived husband, fever not raid. Buried children, cough, flux. Survived, but old age grueling test. Glorious ideal, sore death, Valhalla, for men fantasy. Woman, battles birthing, longhouse politics. Afterlife hell, shadowy for straw death. Status shifts. Sun chieftain, new wife. Deja vu, bride's fear, witness bed warming, more genjifu. Mother-in-law by fire, authority fading. She holds keys, manages. Replaced, dependent, mouth fed at sufferance. Arithmetic applied, useful? Mend, stories, wisdom, or burden. Degradation, judged by upheld system. Body betrays, aching joints, blurred vision, loom impossible. Outhouse perilous, longhouse cage. Memories, ghosts, traumas. Thralls, suffers, status blur near equalizer. Youth, vessel, tool, property. Old, enemy prison. Sickness squalid, public. Confined bed, birth, sleep loss. Sounds continue, laughter, arguments, baby. Ghost of feast, care pragmatic, waiting end. No death, privacy. Breaths witnessed, over. Body washed, dressed, more gengiva hand. Carried out, no ship lays, kings. Simple pit, stone-lined mound. Life moves, bench taken, memory fades, cycle absorbs. Forgotten, story not anomaly. Life short, brutal for majority. Your world fragile island. Romanticize, cherry-pick sagas. Forget silent majority. Resilience testament, reminder veneer thin. You didn't survive Viking bedroom, never there. Privilege immense. If this deep dive ignited curiosity, reflect modern luxuries, hit like, show appreciation, spread stories. Share reminder how far come, motivate history explore. Subscribe immersive tales, notifications never miss. Engagement fuels, uncover raw truths together.